A Bleacher Report analyst said the New York Jets need to make one more move this offseason, and I agree. Let's explain what that is and who it could be.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily. Quick water break. Let me see if that loosens the pipes. Okay, let's try that again. Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Eston Jr. Oh, yeah, the pipes sound deeper now, like an FM voice. Hello. All right, let's do that again. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast, baby. And first off, a happy Memorial Day weekend to all of you. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying time with your loved ones and your family. I know I have been with my family over the weekend. And, of course, let's remember what it's all about, Thank you, everybody, for their sacrifice to make things like this possible. Secondly, let me putting that aside there. Today is the day, as my father says. He's already in the chat. Today is the day. This is gender reveal day, baby. So a little bit, it's going to be like in the early afternoonish time frame. I will find out the gender of my baby. And we'll make sure video cameras are on us. We'll also we'll play that, I'm sure, tomorrow on the show. Tomorrow morning, you guys will see the video and see whether it is boy or girl. You guys can also follow me on all social media at BoyGreen25, and maybe you guys can get that intel here. And NY Jets FL says only hardcores are here. Yeah, on a Memorial Day Sunday. I imagine that's true. So I salute you, everybody, for that as well. Thank you so much for supporting the program. If you guys would like, there is a full article of the topic of choice that we're about to discuss here on the show, so feel free to check that out in the YouTube description down below. Also, as I'm seeing a few team this or team that, make sure you guys share what team you're on. Are you on team boy or team girl? I already have a daughter, a beautiful, 2.5-year-old, Zariah Luna, Serenity Esden, as she is, but I'm curious what you people think. So go ahead. Keep the boy-girl things going. And Matthias there with that 80th anniversary of D-Day, which is crazy to think about. My dad's a big history buff. We never get into that on the show, mainly because it's a Jet show. But that is true. I did not realize it was 80 years. That makes me feel, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, my dad is actually a big history buff, so we may have to do that at some point, some sort of crazy trivia game or something. I'll keep that in the back of my book for some time this summer. But guys, let us know in the YouTube description, or YouTube comment section, rather, on your take. Now, I will say this. We talk about all the time speculation. What else could the Jets do to add another piece to the puzzle? And there's been a lot of debates. Ooh, safety. Justin Simmons is out there. Quandre Diggs, whoever. And we're like, okay, that makes sense. Sure. All right. Those people over there. Then we hear other people say, ooh, a wide receiver. Another wide receiver would be great. Another guy, provide some insurance, some depth. We've heard those people. But I'm going to be honest. If we're just going to lay it straight here, straight up, I would just say this, that I think the thing of choice here for the New York Jets is the center position. Other ones, we could kind of nitpick. Maybe they could use another safety, but they're probably fine with the group. Maybe they could add another wide receiver. They're fine with the group. One group that I'm not fine with, I'm not comfortable with, and I'm not satisfied, and I refuse to be complacent with, is the center position. Last year, the Jets had Connor McGovern. He served as the perfect buffer between Joe Tippmann and the starting lineup. Connor McGovern ended up starting 7 games last year, all at the center position, and he was just great. he was, we throw great around too much. He was great in his role. He was just a dandy player when he was in there. Again, he wasn't a superstar, but he wasn't like a hobo. He was solid. He was solid on the field and even better off the field, quite frankly. He had a wonderful relationship with Joe Tippmann, and I think I talked about that with a couple of insiders this week, in Zach Rosenblatt and Antoine Staley, that he didn't have to be like that. I think it was Antoine, actually, the more I think about it, with who we had the conversation with. But, like, Connor McGovern signed the week of the draft before Tippmann was drafted, and they told him, hey, we're drafting a kid, as part of the conversation. Hey, we'll sign you, but hey, we're drafting a kid, so just so you know. And he could have handled that poorly. He could have told a young Tippmann coming in, hey, go kick rocks, pal. It's still my time in this league, and you're a youngster, so you're going to sit your ass down, and I'm going to be the one starting all these games. But from everything we hear, he didn't handle it like that at all. So he was such a team player. That's so rare. That's so cool. In a NFL league that is all about me, 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 it's cool to see we. Little Boy Green Daily French edition, perhaps, on the show. But that's the point. Is for that, I believe it was a great balance last year. So far, Connor McGovern remains a free agent on the market. He has not garnered any interest. Obviously, we're here in late May. It's May 26th. So there could be some room for a center. However, it's not Connor McGovern that was recently urged by a Bleacher Report analyst. In fact, it was what about Connor Williams, former Dallas Cowboy, most recently spent the last 2 years on the Miami Dolphins. This is a guy who, I'm going to be honest, who's still available, and we'll explain why he's still available in a moment, but he checks off a lot of boxes, to be honest with you. I was doing some notes on him this morning, and there's a lot to like. The age, 27. Okay, the age isn't bad. He's played 6 years in the league, 4 of them with the Dallas Cowboys, 2 of them with the Miami Dolphins. He originally entered the league back in 2018 as the 50th overall pick out of Texas. And the thing I like is twofold. There's a couple of things here that I like about him. First off, versatility. I got this little note card in front of me. I was going through some of the PFF analytics. So last 2 years, he's been exclusively a center with the Dolphins. He played 497 snaps last year and then 1,056 snaps in 2022. In his first 4 years with the Cowboys, he played all over the line. For a 3-year run from 2019 through 2021, he played all of his snaps exclusively at left guard. And these are his snap-by-snap bases for each of those years: 727, 1146, and 934. So again, the last 2 years, he's been exclusively a center, most recently. Then he had a 3-year stretch where he was the left guard for the Dallas Cowboys. Then in his rookie year, he was like an Elijah Vera Tucker clone. He played a snap at left tackle. He had 500 snaps at left guard. He had 200 snaps at right guard. And hell, he even had 2 snaps at tight end. Why not? So there's a versatility to Connor McGovern, Connor Williams. That'll be confusing with all these Connors, especially we got Connor New York Flights Jets talk. We got Connor Hughes, Connor Rogers, Connor, Oprah Winfrey. You get a Connor, you get a Connor, you get a Connor. A lot of Connor overload here. Connor McGovern and all these other gosh darn Connors, but Connor Williams is a guy that checks off a lot of boxes. Again, age, okay, versatility, all right, and the most important to me, the missing piece to the puzzle that I don't think is debatable is we need interior offensive line depth, specifically at center, but Connor Williams would kind of hit multiple birds with one stone, because you could go at center, could go a little bit of guard. So Connor Williams was recently urged by a Bleacher Report analyst to say, Jets need to sign that guy. Now, you would say, Paul, that all sounds dandy. The age, the versatility, the starting experience, which, by the way, the starting experience for Connor Williams is this. Again, we also have a full article in the YouTube description down below if you'd like to get it. Let me make sure I say this right. So Connor Williams, in his 6-year career to date, has appeared in 83 games and has made 77 starts. So this is a guy that has a ton of experience, and you love that. So a ton of experience entering this in on this. Plus, if he's available at this stage of the offseason, he's coming dirt cheap. Now, you see in the headline, it says, Jets urged to sign rivals $14 million offensive lineman. That was his most recent contract. He had a 2-year deal for $14 million, $7 million per year, which is a fine number. But at this point, it's not about the money, because again, I'm going to be honest, you look at this with the time frame standpoint here in late May, he ain't getting that kind of scratch from an NFL team. But the reason why he's still available, is injuries. It is injuries. Throughout his career, he's had a few nicks and bruises. Now, he's coming off a career high in terms of missed games. He missed 8 games last year. He tore his ACL in December. Now, tearing your ACL in December, it's kind of complicating the picture of when this guy can come back, which I would imagine is a big reason that he remains a free agent here. But you can factor that into the contract, certainly, to bring in a guy so he can continue to rehab under your system, under your scheme, under your roof as he continues to come back from that. So in his 6-year career to date, he has missed games, and that is a part of the equation. He has missed 16 games in his career, including, again, like I said, a career high 8 this past season. But before last season, he had appeared in double-digit games every year of his career. So, you have to factor that into the equation as well. So just want to give you that. So Connor Williams, again, regardless whether it's Connor Williams, Connor McGovern, or some other Connor, apparently I'm unaware of, a center is a need for the New York Jets. And I've talked about in the past how I feel about Wes Schweitzer, who I think is a fine guard. I like him at guard. Very good. Center, leaves much to be desired from my palate. So I would like another center added to the room. That to me would be the final piece to the puzzle of this Jets team where I'm feeling great about everything. Again, some of you can nitpick safety or wide receiver, what have you, and those things would be nice. This doesn't feel like a nice thing. This feels like a necessity thing from my standpoint of making sure we work that in there. So again, center conversation. We'll get back into that in a second. I saw we have a few YouTube super chats, so let me get those in. Again, YouTube super chats, skip the queue and guarantee you get your comment answered here on the program. So appreciate you. Make sure there's 200 people live in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe down below. Okay, let's go to Just Hear Me Out, a longtime supporter of the program, which poppin' Boy Green resident Seahawks fan. Boy Green's resident Seahawks fan. Congrats on passing 6K. I remember the 1K, 2K, 3K celebrations are basically mainstream now. Wow, I did not realize I'm mainstream, but that is true. Yeah, we're up to 6,500 subscribers on YouTube, which has been awesome. I remember because I was looking up this clip that I was trying to use for something else. And so my studio's kind of moved around my house. I had a studio that was over there, and where I'm pointing off camera is my living room. I bought this, one of my first big purchases when I got this apartment house thing that I've been in for like the last decade, is I bought it, and at first I was upstairs. It's kind of a small apartment, and then there's a separation, and then there's a big ass downstairs where there's all kinds of things. There's a basement, all kinds of great stuff. And when I came down here, I needed new furniture. So I'm like, oh boy, I need to make a big boy purchase. So I went to a rent-a-center, got a nice, kind of couch combo platter. So if people visited, and that's where my first show was. So you guys can go way back in the video machine to see when I was doing videos from my couch. I kind of had a mini mock setup with a laptop and stuff. And our first show that I did was a pregame show for the 2020 NFL season. That was Adam Gase. Woo! Talk about those times, baby. And I was doing a pregame show for 30 minutes, somewhere in the noon era. And 3 people listened. 2 were my mom, and apparently one was Just Hearing Me Out, or Just Hear Me Out. Those were the listeners. But I tried to deliver the same product when there was 1 listener to 6,000 listeners or more. And we've hit a couple of milestones. I think we're over 2 million views now on YouTube. So whatever it is, there's been a lot of awesome ass milestones, and they've been cool. So thank you so much. Just Hear Me Out for the super chat. Thank you for the support from the beginning, and people that have jumped on the ride at various points more recently, later, whatever. It's been really cool. So without you guys, it's very cheesy. I'm accepting my trophy. Oh, without you guys, it's not possible. But it is true. It is true. Without you guys, it's not possible. So thank you so much, pal. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we're at 6,000. Yeah, my next big goal. So big goal was 5,000, I think. And then so we got 6,000. That's awesome. My next big one is 10K. I'd like to join the 10K club. We got a lot of 10K Jets content creators: Matt O'Leary, Jake Gasman, Jets Talk 24/7, Buffalo Jet Fan. We got a lot that are in the 10K club. That's the next level I want to reach. So that's a goal. We'll see how quickly we can reach that, but I believe. Just hear me out again. If you take digs from us, I will be mad again. Yeah, we'll see on that one. I've heard a few people. I had a guy that I trust, and he said that the Jets are keeping an eye on Diggs. That's what he said, a couple weeks back. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it would have to be Like fast forward a month, it's like the end of June, early July, and the Jets are kind of kicking things around. They're like, wait a second, Diggs or Simmons is still out there? All right, give them a call and see what those bastards want. Like I don't envision like, oh man, we got to rush to go sign these guys. Not that they're not good, but the Jets have a couple of shekels left in the cap space department. So I think they're going to have to be, very I don't want to say conservative, but very just kind of mindful of their purchases. So we'll see. Diggs is a good player. Like I said, Simmons obviously is a really good player. We'll see. I think that's going to be one where if money's available, or rather the players are available later in the summer, it could be an opportunity for that to come on in. All right, man. Just Hear Me Out is blasting the YouTube super chats. This is awesome, baby. So thanks for supporting the show, brother. All right, Jets, Lions, Dolphins, Bills, Browns. These are all my guilty pleasures. Favorite outside teams I want to succeed unless it's against us, which the Jets do play the Seahawks this year. Let me double check. When's that on the schedule? I think it's after the bye, so that might be, if off the top of my head, that might be week 13. Let's see if I'm right on that. Let me see if I'm right. That's how I think I remember it. I've been looking at the schedule a lot. We'll be doing Jet schedule predictions soon, too. I was right. Nice. A nice 1 o'clock game. Jets at home, MetLife Stadium, which, speaking of, Jets hosting the Seahawks, my dad brought me to and he's in the chat somewhere, and I'm sure we'll open up the phone lines in a little bit so you guys can call in. But my dad brought me to a Jets Seahawks MetLife Stadium game a bunch of years ago. That was part of an awesome, and this will be a future. My dad joins me on the show every Saturday as a guest, but he will talk about our trip because we do a trip every year for Father's Day, but it's not on Father's Day, and we can explain it later. But that was one of those trips where we did a Jets Seahawks game, which was awesome. So. But interesting. Let me go through these. So Jets, okay, I can understand as a Jets guy. Lovable losers. Lions, again, same sort of thing. They had Barry Sanders in the 90s. He had the terrible offensive line, but he was awesome. He had Megatron and Matthew Stafford saying, F it, he's down there somewhere, covers his eyes, just kind of throws it up there. The Dolphins, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't vibe with that. Screw the Dolphins. Although if they want to give us Connor Williams, who's their free agent, I will take him. Buffalo, those bastards jumping through tables and all their nonsense. I'm ready to steal the AFC East crown off their head and then kick them down their hill. And then the Cleveland Browns. Again, there is a lot of lovable losers in here. Like the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game like 23 years, which, by the way, is the league leader in the NFL. No one else has gone that long without winning a playoff game. Lions are having their success more recently. Obviously went to the NFC Championship game. Should have won that, but that's neither here nor there. And then Buffalo had that 17-year gap where they didn't win a playoff game, and Cleveland has just been the lovable losers forever. So I sense a little theme here in your love interests that go beyond this. But yeah, okay. I respect it. Again, my guilty pleasure, if you want to call it that, is I've been supportive of my father, who's a Dallas Cowboy fan. And I've supported him forever with all of those endeavors, which is really cool. So I do feel you a little bit there. There's anytime the Jets aren't playing, I'm watching the Dallas Cowboys for my dad. Another one from Just Hear Me Out, bro. I remember the living room broadcast, which is true. And I had a lot less beard. It was more closer to the face. I didn't have all this. I'll take it off for a second. I didn't have this kind of girth going on in the beard range. That was not happening. So yeah, but the living room broadcast, and then major shout out to my fiance. So you see me perfectly clear now. She got me this badass camera. I have this mic set that's in front of me, professional mic. Before I was just talking into a laptop. I'm pretty sure if I go back there, I don't even think I had a mic. Which again, you got to start somewhere. And I will just tell you. Hopefully, this is kind of an an emotional message? No, like an inspirational message, is that it's never too late to get into the YouTube game. In 2020, when I decided to do this, I'm like, man, it's totally YouTube's been around forever. I can't get into this, but I'm like, all right, you know what? If I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it ever. If that's my excuse, like it's too late because tomorrow will be even later than today. So I'm like, screw it. Let's do it. And it's been a lot of fun. So it's been so cool to do the video quotient. I'm a radio guy, so most people never see my face. And again, some would probably say they prefer that, which, by the way, the audio-only version of this show is available if you prefer not to see my face. And I would not blame you for that or your family for choosing that path. But it is true. It is true. That is factual. in all of this, which is pretty cool. So it's been an amazing dream to chase, and it's been an amazing journey. That's for damn sure. All right, let me catch up on some comments here if I can. But thank you so much for all the YouTube super chats. Just hear me out. We're having a super chat overload. We haven't had a lot of super chats in a while, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also available, guys, is the Boy Green Super Fan Club. If you'd like to join as a member, the little money sign, you can join the group. There's so many great ones in here. Mother underscore effing Chu said, is that Connor Williams in the description? It is. If so, he had a higher PFF grade than Simpson, but he only played half of the year last year. That is the torn ACL. But his PFF grades are spectacular. So, again, there's versatility. The analytics favor him. He's done a really good job despite moving all over the line. So that is 1,000% true. John Sauer with a great message. Morning Coffee Club. Please remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. God bless every one of them. Yeah. I know a lot of people when it's Memorial Day weekend, they're thinking, oh, grilling. Oh, this is great. Awesome. Cornhole outside or whatever selfish things we have. But, beyond that, remember what's most important, which is a really good message there from John Sauer. Mother underscore effing Chew again. I just read he's having problems with getting healthy after his ACL injury, so maybe it won't be expensive. Definite upgrade over McGovern as a backup center guard, who, by the way, is unsigned. I would take either, quite frankly. Give me Connor McGovern or Connor Williams for that matter. Either would be an excellent choice for that, to be honest with you. I would not mind at all to get that depth because now I will tell you, as part of, we didn't get into this, but part of the Bleacher Report article is like, hey, you could sign Connor Williams. Okay, Jets, that makes sense. And he could replace Tittman. I'm like, whoa. Like, obviously, he's got a ton more experience than Joe Tittman, but like, I'm not on that part of the quotient. If he is great, I mean, competition's great. If you bring in guys and they beat out guys, okay, that works for me. But I'd rather see kind of Tittman kind of grow and do his own thing here from that perspective. So that part of it, I'm not really vibing with him stealing his job, but I'm totally cool with adding it to the equation and then see what happens. But competition's good. As Phil said, just a healthy baby. And I'll tell you, when I have one child already, and then this second child that is coming, it'll feel a lot more real when you know the gender, because then there's a name to it, because I already know the names for whether it's a boy or a girl already, which, like I said, we'll talk about on the show tomorrow. But the first time I wanted a boy really, really bad. Like, I wanted a boy. It was something my father told me about the name, legacy, passing down everything. So I wanted a boy really bad in my brain. And then I didn't have a boy, I had a girl. And I'll be honest, we had some complications during the first pregnancy. And when the baby was delivered fully healthy and everything, I just thanked the gods and said, you know what? I don't give a flying hoot, whatever gender, just a healthy baby. So my perspective, maturing, whatever you want to call it, has totally changed. That's true. And R&R says, as long as the baby is a new Jets fan, yeah, that's non-negotiable. This baby is a Jets fan. My daughter, Soraya Luna, is a Jet fan. So it's happening. I mean, it is what it is. People have said, oh, boy, that's abuse. You should allow them to pick their own path. Maybe in another family. Sorry. Dems to rules, baby. Or climb back in, mommy, because it's a Jet fan or nothing. That's it. And there's no nothing. It's just Jet fan or Jet fan. If there's a multiple choice question, who's your favorite team? Jet. Jets, Jets. Those are the only options. And she will be surrounded by it. I mean, there is Jets all over my house. I wear Jets every day. The little, I have this Jet thing on my reclining couch over there that I got for $20. The couch for $20. Great deal at a place, someone's house. They were just selling everything. Got a nice recliner. It's phenomenal. Great value purchase there. Like, similar to Connor Williams. He could be the $20 recliner. Serviceable. Very nice. Now, people won't come in and say, wow, what a nice recliner, but it just gets the job done. It's just serviceable. So you could be saying that about that recliner. So Connor Williams could be our recliner. Look, bringing it all back home. That is segues, baby. That's why I'm the best. Okay? That's why I'm the best of the best of the best. Anywho, so yeah, I got a Jet thing that goes over it. So I got a Jets everywhere. I'm looking at a Jet snack helmet over there. There's just Jets all over my house. So how could they not possibly, the child to be, how could they not be a Jet fan with all that Jet action happening around? Let's go to Cornbread. Love that name. Hunter Renfrow. Thoughts? He's an absolute steal right now. Yeah, former Pro Bowler. Had a great year in 2021. 100-plus catches, just over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Hunter Renfrow brings a little bit of that slot action, which would be spectacular. I read this piece from The Athletic, Ted Nguyen. He talked about Hunter Renfrow being such a craftsman from a route running perspective. He was even making up his own routes, which how exceptional he was in that department. So I'm all for the Hunter Renfrow train if they want to dive and swim in those waters. The only question, and this is a Jet question, I don't know, I'm not in the building, Malachi Corley, how quote-unquote raw is he from a route running perspective? Robert Saleh is the one who used those words, that he is currently a raw route runner. How quickly can that change? If that's going to be a significant gap, maybe you want to bring in a guy like Hunter Renfrow, who's a wizard from a route running perspective. And same point, he's going to come dirt cheap at this point of the offseason. He comes in, he's in the room with Malachi Corley, and that could only help. So that could be another factor. That's another guy to keep an eye out for, former Clemson product. There's a lot to like there. A lot to like there from that perspective. So I would not mind that at all. Snowball asked, what's the real reason the Jets jettisoned Rex Hogan? Question 2, are the Ferrets asleep? Question 2. Question 1, what's the real reason the Jets jettisoned Rex Hogan? I mean, let's be blunt. While the Jets have had some draft moments that we're all kind of happy about, 2022 being, namely it, among some others, I think the Jets had to mix up the room. I think, and I just said this, I was explaining to my radio partner. We had a private conversation after the radio show was over, and we were talking about the definition of a friend. And a friend is supposed to be willing to tell you the tough stuff. They're not just supposed to be yes men in your life. Like, if I have this tough decision I'm wrestling with, and I'm like, I'm leaning this way, and the friend just goes, yeah, that's probably great. Like, you don't want those kind of people around you. You want people that are going to challenge you. You want people that are really going to have your best interest in heart and sometimes give you a conversation that maybe you don't want to hear. So I bring that all full circle back to this Rex Hogan thing. Rex Hogan, Chad Alexander, even, who I like a lot, who ends up being the assistant GM in LA, so he gets a promotion. Awesome for Chad. I think it was about mixing up the room, to be honest with you. So I think that's the reason. That there had been some, I don't know how much you want to blame, because it's hard, because there are these people behind the shadows outside of very rare media opportunities of how much blame does Rex Hogan get for the bad picks or this picks. I just think sometimes it's good to mix up the room. There's been some issues for the New York Jets, and shifting people out and causing Joe Douglas and this team to think in new ways, I think, can only be good for business. Now, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a new job yet, at least from what I've heard. Chad Alexander immediately got a promotion, and he left the Jets for the promotion. Rex Hogan, I have not heard anything on that, so that is very interesting to me. Jackson Valente definitely in on this signing for good reason. Jared B. asked, question, do I scroll back and be behind the chat or skip what I missed? I'm going to be honest. I do both. I just try to answer all the super chats as quickly as possible, and then I try to catch up on any comments I miss. So I kind of go back and forth on that as I'm trying to catch up here, back to the normal. John Hepburn remembers when I first started. There you go. Hep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We first started a handful of years ago, 4 years ago, which is crazy. And 4 years ago on the video thing, I've been doing this audio version of what you hear now for like 12 years, maybe. The audio, which used to be called the Jet Zone. So if we have the Jet Zone listeners from way back in the day, that was an FM station, WNYO 88.9. That's my podcast, started on the radio 5 days a week during the summer, talking Jets for 2 hours a day. That is 1,000% true. 10 to 12 in this summer, the heat of the summer when nothing's going on, I produced live content for the Jet Show, which was what my show was called. That eventually turned into my podcast, which eventually turned into this. We're a caterpillar, ever, a metamorphosis of sorts, and constantly moving. So, yeah, that is all true. Bernard Nixon, do y'all in the chat think Rodgers is injury prone? I don't, but again, my dad hates this comment I always bring up, but over a 5-year stretch, which 5 years seems like a significant amount of time, Rodgers appeared in 81 of 82 games, and the only game he missed was because of COVID, and that was obviously prior to this past year. So I would say no. all of his injuries, and you could go back to even beyond that 5-year stretch, which like a broken collarbone or a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like, to be honest, they've all been very sparing. There's been no real like connection. Like ABT, I could understand, even though he wasn't injury prone in college, I could understand you saying that now, where seemingly anything's happening in terms of the injuries. So I could totally understand that. But for some of them, I don't. Let's see. Yeah, Jets have had some good centers. Yep, there you go. So my dad says it. The Jets hop on pop schedule breakdown coming soon. So there is some stuff that's going to be coming. Yeah, I think you guys will firmly enjoy. Yeah, I think you will. Alan says, Lions are a fun team to watch. Love my 2 Hawkeyes. Hope they continue to excel. Would be fun to meet them in NOLA. No doubt. In the Super Bowl, that would be a lot of fun. Detroit's a fun team. Dan Kim, I'm going to be honest. I thought that crazy bastard biting kneecaps and stuff, I'm like, oh boy. This might work initially, but I don't know if this is going to work beyond that. Do not know. So he proved me wrong, so give him a shout out too. And John, that's another one I keep forgetting. Connor McGovern, of course, is coming off his own injury as well. I think that's something Zach Rosenblatt and or Antoine Staley mentioned. So that could be another reason as to why things have not happened there from that perspective. Oh, yeah, by the way, how about them Boston Celtics, you bastards? 3-0, baby. And the Pacers in that crazy third quarter, they're kicking our ass. And a lot of people are like, boy, looks like it's going to be 2-1. No Tyrese Halliburton. Ha ha, Celtics. But when it mattered most, and this is why Drew Holiday, this is why you made the move. He gets the and one that gives them the 112, 111 lead. Then he gets a steal on the other end from some sloppy ball handling. Boop, boop, pop, pops it right out. Ultimately, cashes in. Celtics win 3-0. Here's a stat for you guys in the back of the room. No NBA team in playoff history has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. Ever. So, see you in the NBA Finals for the second time in 3 years, yeah, bastards. So very nice. And oh yeah, and by the way, Alan, part of his comment here on YouTube is Celtics Mavs would be a fun final. The Kyrie Irving revenge series. Oh, there's so many things I want to say about Kyrie Irving, which by the way, he's had a wonderful evolution in Dallas this year for what he's been able to do. Tip of the cap, Kyrie Irving. He's one of the best. He may be the best ball handler in the NBA. I mean, he's spectacular. But his run with the Celtics was anything but spectacular. So yeah, I want Dallas. That's actually the prediction I gave on the radio of someone asked me what's going to be the NBA Finals. I'm like, oh, it's Celtics Mavs. That's what I believe, and it looks pretty good so far. So we'll see. And there's my father there. USA. Remember the fallen. Ultimate sacrifice. Couldn't have said it better myself. I remember that yesterday. May your next child be a masculine child. I do remember that yesterday. That was a good call. We'll open up the phone lines here in a minute. I'm just catching up on your guys' comments here. Ken O'Brien, yeah, he deserves more love, 1,000%. Again, I don't know why we don't. Just hear me out says I would love a $20 couch. My wife wouldn't let me keep it though. Yeah, I got it. It's funny. We went to on one of those Craigslist things or something, and they were selling a recliner, and I wanted a recliner, but I didn't want some top of the line crazy thing. I just wanted a comfortable recliner. And I think we agreed to like $50 maybe, something, maybe $60. I don't know. So we ended up driving up there to this house, and it's an old couple that I think is downsizing. I think that was the story. And we show up, and so there's the recliner, and I'm like, oh, okay, here's $60. Like $60? I'm not taking $60. How about $20? I'm like, it's a weird negotiating tactic. You're cutting the price by 2/3. Okay. And he said, what? You and you're lovely. Why don't you take a bottle of wine? And we're like, whoa, these people were like the nicest people in history. He only took $20 for the chair, gave us a bottle of wine, said, hey, why don't you come around the house, grab some more stuff? I'm like, what? Like for free? And I'm like, okay, I guess. And we're just going around their house. This wonderful, nice couple. So I'll have that story forever with the couch, which was awesome. So yeah, I mean, spectacular. Very nice. Ooh, Dolphins talk on YouTube. Let me get them in on here, which is great to see him. FYI, Connor's injury from last December is so bad he may not play this year. Oof. And there's even talk of retirement. Wow. Recent report is he's down 50 pounds, nowhere near ready to play. All right. Appreciate that. Dolphins talk on YouTube. I appreciate the heads up there. Well, that's a lot more clear. That would explain a lot of what happens. Okay. I've not heard all that stuff. So thank you, Dolphins talk on YouTube, for that intel. That is, well, that would explain a lot, I think. Okay. Let's see. The Pete Alonso bidding war, that could be, possibly. Let's see. Paul hasn't seen her. Sigh. Weak argument. 5-year selective reality. You also argues last year in Green Bay he played hurt. You can't have it both ways. 100%. He played tough. And he took the criticism of it. So I will say that as well. He took the criticism of it, Rodgers, for playing through it. You know, some people gave him the tough note, tip of the cap. A lot of people went, you didn't play as great. So just hear me out. Another massive YouTube super chat. Thank you so much, buddy, for just hear me out. For real, though, I found this channel randomly looking for Jets content. It was like 3 of us in the live chat. Apparently, one was Boy Green's mom. 100% that's true, because YouTube Live was very different. I wasn't using it as on StreamYard where we could stream to like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It was just YouTube that was streaming live. And I could see there was like 3 people live because it told you like in the little counter, and then there was people in the comment section. And there was like no one in there, but I was just like still doing my thing. And then every once in a while interacting with a comment or something. That is wild. To go from this, think about this. Right now, I could see, because there's a live counter in my top left-hand corner. There are 500 people in the room right now. What Just Hear Me Out is saying on one of our first shows was like 2 people in the room, 2-3 people in the room. One of them was Just Hear Me Out. One of them was my mom. That is how far we've come over the last couple of years, which is awesome. It's so cool. And I always say this to everyone too, because I've had people ask me for advice in this realm and what to do, and the discouraging nature of starting a show when you only have 2 or 3 people. And a lot of people give up and say, why am I even doing this? 2 or 3 people, who cares? No one cares enough about it. But you have to deliver your product. I see that the number is growing. Now it's jumping to like 550 people in the room right now. Like, you have to deliver your content, whether it's 550 people or 0 people. Think about this. In the radio every day, when I'm in there, most of the time it's with my radio partner, Jim Lurch. It's me and him. 2 people, 2 mics. We don't have a live counter like I have on this YouTube page where I'm seeing literally the amount of people that are watching, listening live right now in this moment. In radio, I have no live counter. So again, it's just me and him looking at each other. And that's how we wanted to deliver, that it's a conversation. And we're delivering that conversation, like I said, whether it's 1 people or 100 people or 1,000 people, however many people are listening. I think that's the key of delivering a quality product. Just because Just Hear Me Out, we only had 3 people, and doesn't mean it should give a crappy product. Just Hear Me Out is there. I mean, literally, he was just hearing me out on the show. So it is pretty crazy. But wow, thank you so much for the YouTube super chat. That is lovely and over the top. Wow, massive. And that's good times. Yeah, Boy Green's mom was in there. I don't even know if I was. Oh, I definitely was. I was about to say, I don't think I was called Boy Green at the time. That's a lie. I got my nickname of Boy Green like 10 years ago, right around there, 10 years ago, which is crazy. That would be, which is crazy. Damn straight, Jackson Valente. I know we only have very minimum Jet Celtics fans in here, but Jackson Valente is one of them. They are killing it. Again, that's why they grabbed Drew Holiday. That was a massive deal that is paying massive dividends. Defensively, offensively, all of it. He's a defensive backcourt with Derek White. Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal. This is great. Okay. I will open up the phone lines here in just a moment here, because we've got breakfast coming up at 10 a.m. So here's the itinerary you didn't ask for. 10 a.m. diner. We're going to go, do some breakfast with all the family together, my fiance's family and my family all together, a big hoopla, like a big shish kebab all together. Then we're going to have a nice little cookout out here, some cornhole, and then the gender reveal action and all that jazz. So it's going to be a wonderful time today. Beautiful weather, I believe we're supposed to have today. So good. Fingers crossed. Let's see here. Catch up on comments. I'm almost caught up fully. Let's see. Alan, we got so many. That's a good point. NY Jets FL. Where else can we see cats interrupting a YouTube stream? Yep, I was at my sister's house and a cat hissed at me. So the cat was there. I'm like, get out of here. It was going, I'm like, Jesus, good Lord. Ferrets. I mean, we've had some wild ass moments on the show. Ferrets, cats. 5 minutes before my show came on, the power went out of the house. It just, boo. So I'm here just typing away, doing some Connor Williams research, going beep, boop, bop, doing this stuff. All of a sudden, I just see, because you guys can obviously see the light that's here. I just heard it in the house. I had my headphones on, I'm listening to music because I'm typing away, doing football notes. All of a sudden, boo, lights all go out. I'm like, what the hell? And I just kept working. I'm like, let me just keep tapping away here, because I wasn't like using internet. I was like on a Google Doc, so I could keep writing. And then the power came on, kicked back on itself, and here we go. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. Weird things to happen this morning, which is great. Which, by the way, I see this one comment from Alan. Let me get there, and then I'll open up the phone lines here. He said, Alan says he loves the Jim Lurch shout out. Knew that dude was going to be a star more than 2 decades ago. He has been doing his radio show, which is a combination of either him and Bud Poliquin, a local CNY legend, and he's been around forever. He's a Hall of Famer, longtime columnist. Then it transitioned to me when Bud reimagined his life, and then I took over the radio show with Jim Lurch about 6-7 years ago, something like that. And he's been doing his radio show. It was 22 years a couple days ago. 22 years he's been on the air. And before that, he spent like 7-8 years on television. So, yeah, Jim Lurch, my radio partner, is absolutely a legend. Yeah, all the credit and love in the world. No doubt about it. Okay, now let me open up the phone lines here. If you guys are watching on any of the other platforms, again, we got 500 people live. Make sure, of course, you guys hit the like button on the video, hit subscribe. We're live every friggin' day at 7:30 in the friggin' morning, people. Feel free to join the party, no matter what, no matter how it is, anything. We've been live all these damn days. Video call in link. I've just now dropped that in. It is the pinned message now on YouTube. Excuse me. If you guys would like to call into the show, feel free to do so. Again, it is the pinned comment on YouTube. So if you're watching on Heavy on Jets, if you're watching on my Twitter account, @BoyGreen25, which, by the way, both great places to view the product, you have to hop on over to the YouTube side and click that pinned message, and then you guys can hop on the program if you'd like to do so. Appreciate that. All right, let's go through. We got a bunch of callers here already. Excellent. NY Jets FL, kicks us off from the bedroom. Nice. All right.
Taking a break from cutting the grass. Hey, Paul.
Yes.
I hear, good morning, by the way. And I hear that if you have sunny side of eggs at your breakfast, you may sway the biological gods into a male. Okay. I'm not sure if you want to go broach that subject.
Okay. But, normally, this is the order at the diner. I get the same thing every time. So I get a burger with bacon, egg over easy normally on the burger, plus a side of these fried potatoes, extra crispy. And then when you're biting into the burger, the egg bursts and you kind of get the rich yolk everywhere. But I might be willing to dip my toe in some of the other waters to change the sun's moods and stars aligning. That's something I may have to consider.
Nice. Hey, Paul, on your inspirational, good luck today, by the way.
Yes.
On your inspirational talk, it kind of brought up a memory for me. Real quick.
Yeah,
I was a geologist. My wife was a marketing coordinator. We were sick of corporate 20 years ago. And we each took $3,000 and bought tables and chairs and opened a party rental business. No idea how to do it. Just sort of like you, man. You just wing it. You go for it. So we started email bombing people. We get the Buccaneers to call us and say they want a bunch of tents, even though we don't have a tent. We don't know how to put it up, nothing. So in the meantime, we friended another company. Yeah. We kind of had a relationship with them, and they said, well, we'll do your tents at a discount. So you start buying tents from us as the supplier. So like you have a dream, you have to start at a certain level and you have to take chances. So kudos to you, Paul. I just wanted to throw that story out.
Oh, that's such a cool story, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Never too late to start something. I mean, I'm in my 50s. I'm still thinking about things I want to do. It hasn't, especially being an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur, Paul. That's basically what you are. You're a radio entrepreneur. So, and similar to the guys on YouTube, other people on YouTube. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'd say sign Connor McGovern. Then if that other guy's hurt, and
Yeah,
from the
especially with the
Dolphins,
Dolphins talk YouTube thing. Ew, that sounds really bad. The weight loss and all that other stuff. So yeah, maybe we're fine with our own Connor going Connor McGovern. That might be the better ploy there. It seems. Yeah.
You're so funny, Paul. I love the sense of humor that you have. It's very like under the radar. If you don't read it, you'll miss it. So
See, I appreciate that. Thank you for noticing.
Thank you. Kudos to me. Kudos to me today for beating Bobby Woodruff to the first caller.
That's right. I actually don't even see Bobby here. There's like 7 callers in here right now, and I'm looking through the green screen. There's not one Bobby call.
Well, I heard. That's so funny. On Jake Asman's show, Bobby called in and said he was going to go to a party this weekend. So maybe last night.
Oh boy,
he had the party. He was sleeping in because he got his haircut and all this stuff. I know too much. I know too much about this stuff, Paul. My wife's already yelling at me about it. So anyway, I hope you have a kudos to your dad. Being a veteran and everything, and all the veterans out there in the chat. And have a great day today. And what will be, Paul. But 2 girls in your house, man, it'll be. I have one daughter, but 2 will be definitely. It'll be an awesome experience, but it'll be challenging. It'll be challenging, Paul. So good luck, and I'll look for your reveal later. Have a good one, Paul.
Thank you so much, NY Jets FL. If I have a second daughter, the only thing I know I immediately need to get is a second shotgun, because my daughters are not going to be dating till 40. And as soon as the first boy comes in, it's that's what's happening. That's the defense mechanism. Playing a 4-3 defense, baby. That's what's popping. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got our boy, Hep, joining us here on the program. What's up, Hep?
Hey, fellas. I heard something the other day. I don't know where I heard it. That the Jets actually might have their future offensive coordinator on the team, and Ron Middleton.
Oh, nice! I saw he was at the NFL hosts this like coaching accelerator program. So, coach, like assistant coach on the staff, can be around other coaches and try to set up for future progressions in their field. So, yeah, Ron Middleton was there, and Sean Jefferson, their wide receiver coach, was there because they seek to have higher roles in the NFL.
Right. I wouldn't mind Middleton, especially with some young, bright mind sitting next to him, feeding him things, and he's a good coach. I remember, didn't he last year? Wasn't he the coach for the college game?
That's true, right? The Senior Bowl game. That's right. And then I think it was, I'm going to mess up the years now. It's 2 or 3 years ago. He was the head coach when Sal was out for the Jaguars COVID game that Sal was removed. Middleton was the interim coach, and he won that game. So, yeah, baby.
All right, bud. Hey, good luck, Paul. I love you, bud.
I appreciate that, Hap. Love you too, man. That's awesome. Okay, man. That's a good callback. And Ron Middleton, that'd be awesome. Everyone loves Ron. He has all those great lines. He's like, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. I love that line. He has that on a t-shirt. Ron Middleton, baby. It's phenomenal. All right, let's go to the next caller here. We got Johnny Boy back here on the program. What's up, Johnny? People were worried about you. Where were you, Johnny?
Bro, yo, so peep it out, right? I'm about to have a girl. My girl, she'll be born in at the end of June.
Oh, good Lord. Wow. And what's that? What number is that for child?
Number 3.
Number 3. Wow. Okay. Wow. Congratulations, pal. Wow.
So get ready, bro. The wifey dog, she's gonna be having you do some off the wall stuff. Dude, last night we were changing the kids' bathroom 3 separate times, bro. Like, Pinterest is the devil.
Oh God.
I hate that damn thing. Right? So yeah. That's what I've been doing, bro. So
that's a fair excuse. Fair excuse. I'm sure I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that. We just moved the crib from one room to another. She wanted it originally in that room. Now it's in another room. Wow. It's that thing, right? You're holding the couch and they're like, left, right. And you're doing all this crazy business. I don't know what's going on, but I guess we just do it to do it.
Bro. Dude, it was like, I want this color paint. I was like, all right. Actually, it doesn't look good after you finish, bro. And you're like,
oh.
And you can't say nothing because they're pregnant.
Yeah, right. What are you going to say? Like, hey, lady, lay off. And then all of a sudden you get things thrown at you. So, yeah, you just got to take it, I guess. Yeah.
I try to channel my inner Quincy Williams and not spear her, you know.
Right, and give out for ya. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Yeah,
exactly. But hey, first and foremost, man, I wanted to give a quick shout out to all the service members that are out there, lost their life on the line of duty. We appreciate you guys. And I live in a town that's very dominant by a lot of service members. I mean, I live in Virginia, so your dad knew.
Yes, yeah, right, exactly. Again, I was born in Norfolk, Virginia, and I was there for like, I don't know, not very long before we started the trips of going all over the East Coast because of all my dad's Navy ventures. He was on the USS Baltimore, USS Tennessee, USS Georgia. I don't think I'm missing another one there, but yeah, he's been on a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for their service and all the memories. All the memorials are happening right now. I mean, it is a tough time, I know, for a lot of people, especially with everything going on.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And thank you to your dad too, man. So,
yeah.
All right. And now getting all that, emotional shit out of the way, right?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Because we're men.
Yeah.
So, bro.
Man, macho. Yeah. Right.
Hey, I want you to have a boy, dog. I've been saying it's going to have a boy, man. It's going to happen. Well, hey, what time is the cookout?
Yeah, so it's so the gender reveal is somewhere between 1 excuse me, I'm getting emotional talking about it. It's the gender reveal thing is somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock, and then the cookout's just like partying and relaxing thereafter. So, but it should be up on social media, I'm sure, shortly after on Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff. So you guys will get a preview or a taste or whatever before we do any of the video stuff tomorrow morning on the show. But yeah, so we should find out 1, 2 o'clock, and then shortly thereafter, I think it'll be out and about in the universe.
What's on the menu?
That cookout. So they bought a new grill for the backyard. Very nice. So shout out to my in-laws for that. They bought us a grill for all the food. So burgers, dogs, chicken, all that. So yeah, and then a bunch of cornhole. I'm a competitive guy, so we're gonna have a lot of cornhole. I'm gonna be trying to smack the crap out of as many people as possible. Yeah.
Hey, awesome. Well, going back now to Jet stuff and everything.
Sure.
The chat's gonna be like, "Yo, talk about Jets."
We get that all the time. I'm like, come on, people.
So the Connor McGovern, right, that is contemplating retirement is not our Connor McGovern.
Oh, that's the other Connor McGovern?
I thought
it was
Bills
one?
Right? Which one?
Whoa. Oh, yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah, let me clarify that because there's a lot of Connors being thrown around. Yeah, the Connor that is potentially considering retirement is the Dolphins guy that someone urged the Jets to do, which is the headline of this video. There's a Bleacher Report analyst who said, "Ooh, the Jets should sign Connor Williams." And I'm like, and I've been talking about Connor Williams, wrote an article about him. And then we had a big Dolphins YouTube channel that somehow was in our comments. And they said, hey, by the way, there's all these things going wrong with Connor. He might not even play football this year because of weight loss and retirement considerations and stuff. So I guess he's been really struggling coming back from the ACL. So yeah, this is not our Connor McGovern. It's Connor Williams, a street free agent who spent the last 2 years with the Dolphins. And prior to that was with the Dallas Cowboys.
Got it. Okay, good. And then the other thing is, man, these OTAs, bro. Look, I'm trying not to get excited, and be all like, "Fucking Super Bowl, motherfuckers!" Right? But bro, I can't help it, man. Seeing that fucking man, number 8, dog, just the way he runs, the bunny hops that he was doing, the fucking tight spiral throws,
the no look pass to Xavier Gibson for 45 yards for a touchdown. I'm like, oh, come on. And again, this was like this was the media practice. So obviously he had practices before the media one, but that's just the one we saw. But for that to be happening in May, and we still got months of him getting more and more acclimated to football, that's exciting, man.
And him talking his shit too right now, bro. Like saying we're fucking must watch TV.
Yeah.
That's what I bring to the table.
Yeah, and he's talking crap to the defense too. I have to listen to the full Shine interview, but he's saying in the middle of practice, he was giving Quincy Williams shit for tricking him and getting a no look pass behind his head, and he was kind of going, "It's fun. It's fun. Get this competitive juices back and forth because the Jets have a really good defense. So if Aaron Rodgers is getting on the Jets defense, it's a pretty good sign of what's to come."
Exactly. And BG, to my point right then and there, it's when's the last time we've built such a roster that potentially there's going to be players that we're going to cut that are going to make other NFL rosters. It's insane, So it goes right back to this whole conversation about JD and when people were just, slandering the man and saying he ain't shit. he's this, he's that, he's all this. I mean, look what he's built for us. We're over here talking again. He's done his job in and out. I mean, the last thing that maybe he should have done was possibly get a QB, but who rosters people for a quarterback that's never been really injured?
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
so then who are you going to get at the end of the day? But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm hyped. I cannot wait. It's Salah's job to lose this year, right?
Yes.
Because, I mean, he needs to prove it. He has his quarterback, God willing. And I also believe in Tyrod. I mean,
I do too.
Tyrod's a beast. So if he could stay completely healthy, if something was to, God forbid, nothing happens.
Right.
Right. But all right, dude. Well, anyways, I appreciate you, man. JETS, Jets, Team Baby Blue.
All right, there you go. Appreciate that. Thanks, Johnny. Peace out, brother. All right, great stuff. All right, we got a lot of team boys in the chat today. All right, let's go to the man who will be at this hubbub, this grilling action, some cornhole perhaps, and then the gender reveal party in itself. My father, Esden Zone, chimes in. What's up, Pop?
Hey now, I am the undisputed heavyweight cornhole champion, so you're welcome.
I'd have to reevaluate some of the numbers there, check the power rankings.
Your memory is not very good, so that's probably why. But I want to give you a flash forward. What I'm going through today is what you will go through if you're graced with another girl.
Okay,
so
detail.
I'm at your sister's house, and I am waiting for the parade of the bathroom. And so 3 different females preparing to go to breakfast, and then you better figure out methods that you can wait to be the last man standing. And then they go, "Oh, we were waiting on you." 2 or 3 hours later.
I have to say, I just had that happen, and I only have 2 girls in my house right now, so God knows what else could happen. But there is all this like me. Okay, let's get this train rolling, baby. We got for us, Diner. We're supposed to be reporting to duty at 10 a.m. Like at the latest. Like we maybe hopefully be there a few minutes before. So we do this back and forth where she's getting ready, I'm getting ready, and she's like, "Here I am waiting for you." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" You look at the whole picture of getting the setup, and then the this and the that, and then we get all the blame for the delay. And I'm like, "What?" Here's my getting ready. Pop a hat on, grab the wallet in the left pocket, phone in the right. I'm ready to go. Boom.
Right.
Like, let's
3
go.
minutes. 3 minutes versus 3 hours of preparation.
For God's sakes. I mean,
that's
unbelievable.
life. Yes. But
and by the way,
when you're
just popping in, your wife. Good morning. Sunshine emoji.
She's right here beside me, threatening my life because I'm telling God's truth.
Ah, wow. Okay, there you go. Wow.
But yeah.
So, by the way, are we reporting for duty at 10 a.m. or is this like a heads up? Like, it's looking more like a noon, pal, or 11:30. Like, there's some wiggle room now on the time. That's the kind of vibe I'm picking up right now.
All I know for sure is I'll be there at 10 o'clock.
Okay. Well, all right. That's
if
good to hear.
People with me, God bless. If not, we're rolling.
Guess we're having a mano breakfast. Perhaps that could be happening.
Yeah.
I'll see you there, pal. All right.
So, but I'm good with whatever new member graces the Esden Zone legacy, boy, girl, whatever it is.
Sure.
But we want a boy.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
But I'm good. Healthy, most important. Boy, second most important. Girl, welcome with open arms. Just for the record.
There you go. I'm glad we have a clear and distinctive power rankings there. That's very clear. Yes.
Very clear line of sight. So, anyways, we're going to wrap up, head up that way. I'll give you a text when we head out.
Okay.
And yes, excited for the grilling, the reveal, the beatdown. I'm going to slap you around at cornhole. I have a bad joke. I'm pulling it in, and I'm not going to say it. So anyways.
What a trooper.
Remember the reason for the day is the last thing I'd like to say. So it is Armed Forces Month, right? It is Memorial Day to remember the fallen. And so we should all take a moment today and do that. So thank you.
100%. Thanks, Pop, for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you in a little bit at the gender reveal party and festivities here at the Esden residence. So I'm very much looking forward to all that. Just shout out to my father. And again, I think that's another important note that we should really remember what this day is all about. Again, there is all the fun, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Of course, enjoy all the grilling, and I will be, obviously, in my own house here with the grill and the cornhole and all that. But again, remember those who have allowed us to even have these opportunities. Coming from a military family, más importante. Very, very important. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We've got our boy B-Mac here on the program. What's up, B-Mac?
Hey, Paul Boy Green. Happy Memorial Day
Yes.
to you. And congratulations to your Celtics. Great win last night.
Damn straight.
Proud of y'all. I thought it was over, in that third quarter, but somehow, they said no. We're gonna go 3-0. We're gonna make this. We're gonna try to make this a sweep, and hopefully they can close it out in Game 4. And
what's happening, baby? Sweepskis.
go to the finals. So
let's go.
Yeah,
second time in 3 years. Let's roll, baby. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be rooting for the Celtics too.
I appreciate that.
I think hopefully this is a time that they can finally break through and get that chip. They've been close the last few years, but unfortunately keep coming up short. But hopefully, fingers crossed that they can get it done.
Yeah, I got to I will just say real quick, I got to watch the championship of my father when we moved up here to New York in 2008 to watch Celtics and the Big Three, of course, where we had Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and then the fourth wheel of that, who I love, Rajon Rondo, winning that championship in 2008. But before that, it's been a long-ass time. It's been like a 34-year stretch of like one Celtics championship. It's been a long time, so long overdue to add to the pile of chips. And the Celtics will be doing that. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to ask you some interesting questions.
Sure.
It's going to be about Rodgers, but he's been getting two questions I want to ask about Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
He's been getting a lot of heat for his postseason, lack of postseason success.
Yes.
What do you now? Me being a Packer fan, I watch every single postseason game, and look, he's not perfect. All right, no quarterback is perfect. Hell, Tom Brady's not perfect. Tom Brady had a couple of postseason stinkers. Of course, that's going to get overlooked because of the 7 championships.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, Drew Brees had postseason stinkers. Brett Favre, Packer fans, love Brett Favre, including me. There's plenty of games that Brett Favre had a bunch of stinkers. Brett Favre had a lot of game-losing interceptions. That one playoff game against the Rams, he had like 6 picks. But of course he's still, Brett Favre is the lovable child, so of course he's gonna people gonna overlook that. But for Rodgers, yes, there's some games, especially the last few years, there were some games you could definitely, you can definitely put on him said he didn't show up. But the games before that in his postseason career, there was games that he did show up and did his job, but the defense and special teams let him down, including that Seahawks game with the Brandon Bostic onside kick.
That was the one I was going to bring up, because as your question is, like, what do I make of the people that make fun of that? And the first one I was going to think of was that Seattle game where they would have, I think they win the Super Bowl that year. Quite frankly, they get past Seattle, which is a terrible way of how that ends up happening. So I will just address the question by this. First off, I hate when people bring up he has one championship in all this period of time. Like, I hear Ryan Clark bring that up all the time. By the way, he's the one who beat Ryan Clark in that Super Bowl. Ryan, I'm sure you're not salty about that. But one championship is better than none. Like, he won a Super Bowl. Now, to criticize the lack of continuous playoff, like, he's been to one Super Bowl and he won it, but I understand that people have those criticisms, and those are fine to have, because Aaron Rodgers is perhaps the most gifted quarterback of all time, just from a talent perspective and arm talent and all that. He's the best. So I could understand saying, wow, when you look at other quarterbacks, Mahomes already has 3. Tom Brady had 7. Joe Montana had 4. And go through all these guys. Ben Roethlisberger, 2. Eli Manning, 2. Peyton Manning, 2. There's a bunch of 2s in there. But I think there are all these separate categories of quarterbacks. There's the quarterbacks who are really good that never won it. Dan Marino would probably be the king of that crown. There's the ones that only have the 1 chip. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, that have the 1 championship, and that's how they're evaluated in that conversation. Russell Wilson's another one, only has the 1 championship that's in his back pocket. But to me, I think the Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl stuff, I just kind of eye roll because it takes a team to win, and there have been plenty of moments where Aaron Rodgers has been killer, but then he's been let down by other facets of the game. There's been moments where, again, you mentioned he's not perfect, where he's lost games or he didn't do enough offensively. You think of some of those special teams games where it's very low scoring, all the scoring within under 20 points, and he wasn't able to do enough. That's going to go on the quarterback for not scoring enough offensive points to win games. So he deserves some criticism for the lack of multiple deep playoff runs and how some of the things have played out. But in terms of just the 1 championship, I eye roll when I hear that because that's what a lot of people said when the Jets traded for Aaron Rodgers last year. They said he only has 1 championship. I'm like, I'll take 1 championship. Thank you very much.
They wanted Derek Carr, or those same people wanted Derek Carr.
With 0 championships.
He had 0 playoff wins, Paul. 0 playoff wins to go with that. Lamar Jackson. People love Lamar Jackson. Praise Lamar Jackson. Oh, Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson. Guess what? 2 MVPs, 0 Super Bowls, 0 Super Bowl appearances. And guess what? The last time we saw Lamar Jackson in the playoffs when it mattered the most, he stunk up the joint. You know what I mean? But nobody brings that up. People want to talk about, he's a running quarterback. He's the most talented running quarterback. But gloss over his postseason performances. And Rodgers' postseason success is way better than Lamar Jackson's. If you want to compare it, you know what I mean? And then you look at other quarterbacks. Like Drew Brees. Drew Brees has a lack of. Drew Brees in his 15-year career in New Orleans has missed the playoffs 6 out of 6 times, 5 or 6 times. They went 7-9, 8-8. You know what I mean? So now only Drew Brees has low postseason success. He has less postseason appearances than Rodgers had in his career.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, so you can nitpick all these other guys and all that other stuff. But are you concerned about Rodgers? If the Jets get to the playoffs, which I expect they will, are you concerned about his postseason history and that catching up with him and and all that stuff?
No, I don't mean to laugh, but no, hell no. Here's the other thing, right? So if you go back to some of those times where the Jets have had their quote unquote glory years, let's go to Mark Sanchez back to back. He was a guppy in his first and second year, respectively. And by the way, for all credit that should be due, Mark Sanchez was electric in the playoffs, so he deserves all the love. But the teams around him of the running game, the offensive line, the defense, and now you're telling me take out Sanchez and insert Aaron Rodgers in? Yeah. I'm feeling pretty dandy about the Jets' chances. You get a ticket to the dance, anything can happen. Now, I would argue that the easier path for the New York Jets, and you're putting yourself in the prime position to win a Super Bowl, is to win the division and have your home playoff game. It's got a lot easier at home than it is on the road. All of Sanchez's wins were all on the road because the Jets, of course, snuck into the playoffs in all these different realms and perspectives. They didn't win the division. So the path that I would be pounding on the table for Saleh or Douglas or anyone that's talking in the room is to say, hey, win the division and then let's roll from there. That's the home playoff game. That sets you up for a more favorable matchup. If you're the wild card, you're 7-6-5. You're playing 4-3-2. You're on the other side. You invert it. You host whoever that is who would have a weaker record than you more often than not, outside of rare exceptions where the division winner is very low win total and then they play someone in the wild card who's high win total. I don't imagine that's going to happen in the AFC East matchup. So, no, I've got zero concerns about that whatsoever. And the more about that conversation, which we should have at some point, is how good does Rodgers even have to be for the Jets to be what they need to be? Because the team is so good that if Rodgers is just average, I feel like the Jets do insert. And if he, God forbid, knock on glass, as I seem to have in front of me here, okay, is that if Aaron Rodgers is MVP Rodgers, watch the hell out. I think the Jets are going to be really good if he's just average. And I'm setting the bar really low. If he's good or great, Jets are kicking some ass. And I think they're already kicking some patuki, some tuchus. Okay, that's going to be happening. But no, I've got zero concerns about the Aaron Rodgers playoff nonsense. To me, I understand the people who want to have those conversations. I saw a few people in there, Paul, Green Bay land is title or bust. So that's why they have those conversations. That's fine. For the Jets, it's getting in the dance and let's see what happens. I trust their chances. I trust this team. Now, the part that you could question is coaching staff. How are they going to perform in the moment? We'll see. But in terms of the team, the roster, and the things we can control, I like where the Jets are at.
And the other thing too, real quick, before I get to my second point.
Okay.
I really hate the Eli Manning or Eli Manning's got two and Rodgers got one, and some people would take Eli's career over Rodgers' career. Like I don't like. I get it.
I kind of get that because he beats Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl without Eli Manning. Tom Brady has 9 Super Bowl rings. So, again, I understand because this is going to come up eventually. Eventually, Eli's going to be up for the Hall of Fame. In my opinion, he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer unquestioned because of the 2 Super Bowl wins against Tom Brady. But I understand the argument. They're like, he was never an All-Pro. He was a never this, never that. He was never considered in the top 3, top 5, whatever quarterbacks ever in his season. I mean, not like of all time, like in his era, he wasn't considered ever near the top of the game. So I can understand someone on that side going, man, boy, sure he has the 2 crazy playoff runs, and he's in the top 5 of every major statistical category because of longevity. He was an Iron Man for a long time, and in today's day and age of passing. So he checks off some of those boxes, but there's other boxes that you say, hey, the all-pro stuff and the other stuff, you're right. He's not in the same breath of Aaron Rodgers, who has won 4 NFL MVPs. There's no MVPs in the box office for Eli Manning, so that complicates the picture. But I would understand beating Brady twice in the Super Bowl of wanting that legacy and including the 18-0 team. So I'd understand that. Again, I prefer Rodgers, but I would understand that. Yeah.
Well, I just like, well, if you're gonna go, I do get it, but come on, man, like it's not close, man. Like Rodgers, like I would take Rodgers as a quarterback in Rodgers' career over Eli Manning. Like I don't care about him beating Tom Brady twice. Like if you're gonna go that, like is Robert Horry is better than LeBron James.
That's true. How many rings does Robert Horry have?
He's got 7. He's got 7. And LeBron James got 4. You know what I mean? Like
that's a good point.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. So, but I just don't. Yeah. I mean, is like he's better than Dan Marino then because he's got 2 and Dan Marino got 0.
It's a fair question.
Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can make that argument too because Rodgers got 1 and Dan Marino got 0. So.
Right.
I mean, 1 is still more than 0, even though
I agree with that math. 1 more than 0. Yes.
Yeah. I just don't. I just think the rings thing. I just think that people put too much stock into it. I get it.
That's fair. Legacy, totally true.
But it's not everything. So, and then the one point I want to make real quick.
Yes, sir.
Before I let you go, don't want to hold you up because you got
no. Yes, sir.
But I just want to let because there's a lot of questions about Rodgers' health and stuff, and I get it. He's 40, coming off a major injury. I get it, but this is narrative out there that he's injury prone and he's not reliable. I'm gonna read you his entire career in games played. In the season. So
all right.
Count out 2005 and 2007 when he sat behind Brett Favre.
Yeah, right.
2008, 16 games played. 2009, 16 games played. 2010, 15 games played. 2011, 15. 2012, 16. 2013, 9. That's where he had the broken collarbone. But he came back and beat the Bears at the last game of the year
remember.
To get to the playoffs. So 2014, 16, 2015, 16, 2016, 16, 2007, collarbone again. And then after that, 2000. But he did came back and play against the Panthers that same year too. But
I remember that.
they lost, so they had to put him on IR. So and then 2018. 16, 2019, 16, 2020, 16, 2021, 16, and 2022, 17, when he played with the injured thumb and all that stuff. And then of course last year played 4 snaps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just want to let you know that look, Rodgers would be totally, Rodgers is not injury prone. He'd be totally fine. I do got confidence that he will stay healthy. People forgetting like last year was a fluke injury, and Achilles thing is one of them rare flukes that it just happens for some reason. It doesn't matter whether you're young or old, grass and on turf. It's just one of the things that when it happens, you don't understand why it happens. So that's why I'm gonna throw out there. Are you confident that Rodgers is gonna stay healthy? And let's say if he doesn't play 17 games, let's say he plays 14 or 15 games.
Yeah, I feel confident in either of those things happening. I want to make that clear. Yeah, he's older. He's 40, turns 41 in December. What Rodgers we're going to get, I'm going to be honest, I haven't gotten an answer from anybody. I've asked. Okay, I thought I had to sneeze there. I've asked his teammates, I've asked analysts, I've asked coaches, I've asked anyone I could get. What do you think we're going to get from Rodgers in 2024? And all of them gave me a shoulder shrug emoji. No clue. We're all going to see together. And it's true because I'm getting all worked up here. That regardless of whatever happens with these other things, it's just we don't have a lot of history of quarterbacks performing, having these injuries this late in a career and things of that nature. So the proof will be in the pudding. But if he plays all 17, amazing. If he even plays, and I think that could be more realistic, if you think he'll have some sort of hiccup or anything where he misses a handful of games, I feel confident. I think it was Johnny Boy who was talking about it earlier, and Tyrod Taylor to step in and not just kill the team and be a Zach Wilson, that he will at least keep them afloat. And it depends, obviously, the stretch. What games are we talking about that Tyrod would be stepping in for? Is it Cardinals, Titans, and I'm throwing all these together. I know Titans is week 2, but like regardless, is it Cardinals, Titans, Jaguars? Like, okay, yeah, Tyrod Taylor could probably win all those. Is it tough games? Ooh, man, it's going to be on the coaching staff to maximize those other areas outside of quarterback to be able to win some of those games. But I feel confident in the team. I feel confident in the team. I feel confident in Rodgers being able to stay healthy. And quite frankly, Joe Douglas's job of rebuilding the offensive line in such a way that I think has the capabilities of being a top 8 unit in the NFL and maybe higher than that, depending on health. So, I'm fired up about it, and I feel pretty good.
It's just a little annoying when people say, "Oh, these guys stay healthy."
Everyone has to stay healthy.
Over Joe Burrow's injury history.
Sure.
People, Lamar Jackson was missed time before last year. And then of course Tua, was famous for being injury home and missing the seasons. And then last year, luckily, he stayed healthy the whole year. So Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes.
Sure,
something can happen to him. So
everyone has to stay healthy. That's just an obvious thing I think we have to say. Everyone says, "Oh, the Jets got to stay healthy." Yeah, everyone has to stay healthy. If Mahomes get hurt, then the Chiefs are done. The three-peat hopes are over. So. Yeah, I think that same conversation has to be had with everyone else. That caveat on the Jets, got to stay healthy. Yeah, no shit, pal. Yeah, thank you. Excuse my Guatemalan. Like, obviously, yes.
And then real quick, where does Rodgers rank as far as QBs in the division?
QBs in the division? Shoot. I mean, to be honest, you could put him right there at number 1. But I would understand if people want to edge it out to Josh Allen, but I would... I'd say so. Yeah, if I was ranking them right now, I'd put Josh Allen number 1, Aaron Rodgers number 2, Tua number 3, and then whoever God's. I actually 1 Josh Allen, 2 Aaron Rodgers, 3 Tua, a pile of crap, and then whatever the hell New England is trotting out there, whether that is Jacoby Brissett or the lifeless rookie body of Drake May. Either way, Josh,
I can understand you.
Right, because he's really good. He's awesome.
Tua, no, he's number 3. I would take Rodgers over Tua
That's
help
what
Rodgers over
yes.
Tua. And
Yep.
Tua, I'm not sold on. I think he's got a lot to prove. I just think that he's a product of that of Mike McDaniels and that
for sure.
Dolphins,
you could argue that
offense and the weapons, and he's not great in cold weather too. And we saw that last year.
1,000%.
So yeah.
Well, B-Mac, thanks for hopping on, brother. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yep. We'll see you again for the streak to continue. Thank you to the 700 people live watching here on a Sunday. God bless each and every one of you. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. That is the free way to contribute to the show. If you like what you see, youtube.com/boygreen25. Like the video, hit subscribe. I got to head out for a very busy day, agenda reveal business. And we'll be back on, and stay tuned to the social media portals, and you guys can see some of that action coming up shortly. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the news. If you don't see it first on social media at some point later today, we appreciate you. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Take care.